Hey guys, this is JauntyM back with another video. So I was just looking at the Fischer versus the Spassky match for World Series. That was this game was played in 1972. It's a very old game, and it's one of the most beautiful games. The whole series. I'm probably gonna make some videos on the whole series, but I was just studying the games, and I just thought that this first game was very interesting because it was such a well balanced match in the start till probably the last move as well. But it's just that there was a small mistake made by one of the players that actually destroyed the whole thing. So let's just go ahead and check this out and see how this worked. So we have Spassky, he plays as white and he's playing d4, a very standard move. And then Fischer, he replies with f6 with the knight. Then we have a c4. Now this is a very interesting move. Now he's trying to attack and cover the d4 pawn as well. So Fischer replies with the e6, and then we have the knight coming towards the f3. So after that, the pawn comes to d5, and that's going to be slightly, attacking towards the white pawn. Let's see what he does here. Spassky doesn't care, and he just brings up the knight towards the c3. So now obviously we have the bishop here attacking the knight and also the king here on this side, so that if the knight can move, knight can't really move, and he might actually lose the knight and gain an advantage, and the black might gain an advantage on the white, taking a knight instead of a bishop. Alright, so let's see what happens. Don't care. We have an e3 move here with the pawn, and then we have a castle kingside for the black, and then the bishop comes to d3. Now, so far it's a very well balanced game, like nobody's giving up anything at the moment. So now we have a c5 pawn attacking the white pawn as well. So castle kingside, let's see what happens now. I'm really right now I'm really stressed out because if I was playing the game, I would have done a couple of, changes again. Like maybe I would have gone on with this, and maybe I would have just taken the horse somewhere else because I don't really like to give up the knights myself. So I could have done that, or I could have just moved this here, and then after I waited for this knight to attack and see if I can progress a pawn up here. So I could have done these kind of moves. But let's see, these are world champions here. So he moves to a3, quite a decent move. Now bishop would not have any other chance to. Alright, the bishop goes back to a5. So the bishop goes back to a5. Right now the knight is free, and the knight is just coming down to e2. And we have a first capture of the game on the c4 file. Obviously the bishop is going to take back the pawn, and everything is working just in the balance right now. Nobody has a real advantage at the moment in the game. Black bishop goes to b6 because it knows that if the pawn here takes this pawn, there has to be some kind of protection, and the bishop is there to take that. So the pawn does exactly that, and now the queen comes down to take this queen. He's not taking any chances. Alright, so obviously the rook has to take back the queen, and now the bishop takes back the pawn as well. So far it's a very balanced out game. It's going towards a draw right now, and the b4 pawn attacks the bishop here. Bishop has to go back and retreat because there's no other positive moves coming out for the bishop. White tends to develop the bishop. It's a little bit late in the game that he develops the bishop. He could have done something earlier as well, develop this bishop, but same case with the black. They both are playing almost like mirrors at the moment. The black bishop develops the ball a little bit to d7. Now the rook comes in line and backs up the white bishop. Black bishop comes to d8 as well. Now the knight's turn to try and maybe do some kind of a development here. So Other knight takes this knight. Pretty much so far easy, no problem. Now the bishop is attacking the rook. And obviously the other bishop is taking out this bishop as well. Very complicated game so far. And everything is so balanced right now. Both teams are not really giving up anything else. Right. So the kings are coming out to play, I would say. Black knight is right on top of the white right now. Okay, so there's a rook exchange as well. There's nothing else everybody can do. And now it's going to be the pawn game. So the white knight is trying to take a couple of pawns here. But black knight is here to save that pawn as well. So too many moves. And now takedowns. Now this was a very confusing move, I would say. Like when you move this bishop here, I mean obviously it's an easy takedown for this pawn and you can move one pawn up. But the thing is, but once you move this bishop here, then this pawn comes into play and it can actually trap the bishop. The bishop can't really go anywhere. And then the king can come here and just take the bishop if the bishop is not moving, because the bishop has no other backing pieces. So I thought that this was slightly bad move. I think this was the actual move that probably cost black his game. So anyway, what happened is right away there's a g3 move and black is stuck a little bit. This pawn is coming in to try and save him, but there's nothing much that you can do here. King comes in and basically this is it. Now he got 2 pawns in exchange for a bishop, so and a pawn. So I don't think this is a good exchange at all, and this puts black in a very defensive and helpless position here because there's a bishop on the black file and it's just not gonna let black live, because that's gonna be an additional backup for black pawn exchange. Now the white king is a little bit trapped here. Black king has to stay on this place so that the white king can stay here and not go sideways, maybe this side, or take this pawn, and then from here he can start to take these pawns, because this could be the actual game for white king. So easily the bishop comes in here to save his king, and black king has to move because black king can't really move any other pawns at the moment, so he just has to move the king. He does that a couple of times, and now he tries to move the pawn, and basically now this pawn can't really move this place because the bishop is gonna attack him. So yeah, this is what happens. And the black king is trying to save this pawn, but it's just going to be impossible for black king to do anything right now. And now black king can go and take this pawn, but the problem is that this bishop is so dangerous. He's protecting all the lines here. He's protecting all the lines here. So the only option is to give up this pawn. By the way, he could have done like, he could have moved it instead of 2 places, he could have moved it this place, so the white king would be a little bit away. You know, he could have done that, but I know, maybe made a difference. Anyway, the black king goes on this side, and now he has to lose another pawn. Takes this pawn. He's gonna try and progress his pawn, but the problem here is that if he takes a pawn here, basically this guy's gonna go and take this pawn here, and then after that the bishop can move here on this side, and whenever this pawn comes on this side here, the bishop would just simply take this. In the meanwhile, this pawn is gonna go up and upgrade to a queen. So at this point, Fischer realized that he could not really win the game, and this was it. He made a deadly mistake there by taking this pawn. This was a deadly mistake. He could not, he shouldn't have done that. Just kept the bishop here, maybe gone for a bishop exchange, and then maybe played out with the pawns, and maybe there was a chance. But so the result of the game was that Black had to resign in the end. So anyway, this was a game that I wanted to review, and hopefully I'll come back with some other games as well. And it was such a beautiful game right now because it's just perfect. Like two teams are playing together, black and white. Everything is so balanced, like mirror-like moves. Like nobody's letting up, nobody's giving any extra chances. All the exchanges are so balanced till the end. It's just that this move really killed black. This was 29th move, and so this was a game that I wanted to review today, analyze, trying to learn from these mistakes as well myself, grow as a player. So if you like the video, you do press the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you for watching. JauntyM signing out. Bye bye.